Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I have been out of pocket all day. I'm late to the party today getting a video out, but I try to always get at least one video out on Saturday and one out on Sunday. But I was doing baseball camp with my 17-year-old. We're trying to decide how we're gonna move forward from high school into college. He will play college baseball. We're just trying to decide which route, which school, how we're going to do this. I wanted to play you this clip from Linda P. Jones. I'd shown you that she was on with Link2, who is one of my sponsors, the other day. This is an interesting clip. Listen to this.
Prediction that the IPO market is going to come back strongly next year because I see that the stock bull market is coming back.
IPO
I put out a buy signal on October 11th for stocks, and I think that we could see 10 to 15% increase in technology stocks between now and the end of the year. People aren't really expecting how crazy the stock market is about to get. But because interest rates are going to come down, and the Chicago Fed president said, we may see inflation drop the fastest in a century. And if that happens, then interest rates are also going to drop. And if that happens, the bull market is on like Donkey Kong.
Wow.
And that means the IPO market is going to go crazy because Wall Street hasn't really had a very strong IPO market since 2021. And there's hundreds of companies that are waiting and ready to go public. And Wall Street's going to put them out. They're going to serve them up and put them out like you've never seen before when this market comes back. They're going to take it to that window, and the IPOs are going to be crazy, I think, between now and the first half of next year, by June of next year.
That would be amazing because I know we have a lot of members here at Link2 that are...
I know that Link2 is going public. It's almost like they're timing it because they know what Linda knows.
Excited about, starting to see some of these exits happen. So that would be awesome. Well, I want to follow up with you really quickly. One of the challenges that in private equity is a lot of times investors will get stuck on the cost of the price per share and not consider the valuation of the company. And they think that it's an expensive stock or it's an expensive private equity because the share price is high. Can you elaborate on that a little bit and just to try and help folks, that maybe grapple with that, to understand that the share price isn't what dictates the value?
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same way that we would look at a stock price. So if you're looking at a Google or a Microsoft or an Nvidia, they might be $300 or $400 a share at different times. But there's penny stocks available too. And just because a company is a penny stock doesn't mean its low price is indicating its potential in the future. In fact, you could argue that a higher price might actually portend a better return in the future because the Magnificent Seven are all priced pretty high, actually, and they're the ones that are having the best performance in the market. So like that, some of the companies on your platform have very individually high prices. One of them is a sleeper company that's one of my favorites, and that's Dapper Labs. Dapper Labs, let me just tell people a little bit about Dapper Labs.
We won't get all into the individual companies, but they're making a good point. A lot of times the prices of these shares are high because they have a small number of shares. There's all kinds of reasons. All right, moving along. Check this out from Black Swan Capitalist. These guys, they always have something. They have interesting people on Cutting Edge.
So as of 2023, an estimated global crypto ownership rates are at an average of 4.2%. So what that means is basically 94.68% of the world's population does not own cryptocurrency or digital assets. Yeah. So we are literally such a small percentage of people in the space And it's just insane how early we are. And I think the
But they aren't done trying to squeeze you out, Vandel. There's a real warning in this. You've got to stay in the game. I don't talk about leverage. It's much more important you stay in this game. The move will make you rich.
Exactly.
Don't be shaken out. You'll be offered leverage. It's like being offered a credit card with a low teaser rate.
Right. This is so true. You know, people think that this market that we're in right now is for crypto has been bad and all. It hasn't been bad at all. The one that from 2018-19, I remember I talked to people on the phone about this all the time. I remember when it got down to $100 billion total market cap in crypto. Now, in this market, the lowest it's gotten is about $1 trillion. Yeah, those were times to be nervous. We trudged through it. And then the kids back. Look, the kids back. They're bringing out all of their weaponry to pump Bitcoin up.
What do you see? What's the future, the near term and the longer term future that you envision for Bitcoin?
Oh my gosh. This thing's going to hundreds of thousands of dollars per coin, Charles. I mean, the US government is in so much debt. The way I think about Bitcoin's price equals technology plus fiat liquidity. So it's going to go up because it's innovative tech and it's better money. But what really shoots it up at a neck-breaking pace is when our government is tens of trillions of dollars in debt and has to roll that debt over. So they got a lot of money to print and financial assets are going to soar. And Bitcoin goes up the most because it's the hardest to make more of. It's over, man. This thing's going to the moon.
You know, so interesting too, because
how is it the hardest to make more of?
So I was just reading today, globally, these countries, these advanced nations with all this fiat currency are going to have to spend $2 trillion on the interest alone, and they won't stop spending, Jack. They just won't stop spending money, and it's coming back to haunt them, and it's coming back to maybe people realizing fiat currency is not the place to be, huh?
Charles, this would be my message to America. Give me a second on this one. Guys, the U.S. government's got about $10 trillion over the next 2 years to roll over, refinance. That's debt. Our country's in debt. It's a huge problem. They got three options. One, they could pay it back. It's not a real option because we don't got the money. We're broke. Two, our government could come out, Charles, and say, you know what, guys, we screwed up. After World War II, we changed the way money worked. We got off the gold standard. We issued debt all over the place. We got way too cocky. And actually, all of our banks don't have your money. They're insolvent. All the airlines you fly and travel on aren't actually good businesses that should be in business. Healthcare shouldn't actually be free. We screwed up. We piled on so much debt and screwed up the younger generation, and we're in huge trouble. So we're going to have to let everything fail and reset this country. Now, they're not going to do that, are they, Charles? They have a third option, which is unique to the government. They could print the money that they're missing. And when they print the money that they're missing, they're stealing from all the people that hold US dollars. And so what they'll do, they'll have to do is print dollars. And the only way to save yourself is own not dollars. And that's when you see things like the S&P 500 and gold and Bitcoin soar. And so that's what's going to happen over the next 2 years. They got to print 3 times more.
Well, there's another option, a debt jubilee. Check this out. This is against the backdrop of everything he just said, which I agreed with a lot of what he said. I just don't think that Bitcoin is I think Bitcoin can be a partial solution if they allow it, if the government allows it. But these are facts, Jack. Bitcoin is so amazing. Fees surging beyond $18 to $35. Transactions taking over 48 hours. Still zero adoption worldwide. El Salvador usage down 98.6%. 85% of buying from Tether fraud. BTC mining bad for environment. Main users are terrorists. Impossible to scale Bitcoin. The future of finance, folks. A lot of that's so true. Here's somebody from Ripple. Listen to this, laying it down.
ISO 20022 is a global standard for financial information exchange. This enables interoperability between different systems, straight through processing of payments, and rich data transfer. And it'll also foster competition because it's open and flexible. At Ripple, we've been aligned with ISO 20022 from day one. We've always recognized that this is the direction of payments and it'll be better for everyone. And we were really a first mover on that front. We've also joined the standard body to help contribute to how payments will shape in the future.
All right. Then we've got John Deaton. You know, this is the video I showed the other day. This was the guy who's the enforcement guy at the SEC. John Deaton says, oh, how I would love to be on a panel with the SEC enforcement director or speak at a conference while he sat in the audience, preferably next to Gary Gensler. Then they would be forced to listen to something they avoid at all costs, including while testifying under oath, the truth. Look at this mystery tweet from David Schwartz. My daughter always gets me the coolest shirts for my birthday, and he just happened to put the Wave and Ripple design book right beside the shirts. David Schwartz is always trying to send messages, almost like that Bearable guy used to. Stephen Narioff is in a narrative. I like this right here. He says, watch this. Ripple is the most professional and ethical company in crypto. You heard my views on the recording to emulate them in 2015. Plus, I'd often reference them in public. Watch this right here. This guy says, Stephen, as you have been in the space before most, do you know the identity of the person team everyone seems to be afraid of revealing who Satoshi is? I'll say this much. The many theories I've heard discussed over the years are not correct. How does Stephen Narioff know that? My theory has been for a long time that there were a handful, maybe a few hundred, maybe as much as 1,000 people, these like major people in crypto who have always known who Satoshi is. It sounds to me like Stephen Narioff might be one of them. I love his tweet here too. Crypto 2.0, the reboot. Crypto promise, massive wealth creation for the masses where the establishment cannot control masses. Crypto reality, massive wealth transfer from the masses where the establishment uses it to control the masses. Crypto solution, it's corroded at its core, trillions siphon off in fraud. Crypto must be cleansed of this darkness and rebooted to fulfill its original promise. This will be Crypto 2.0. Folks, I will tell you this. It is not a coincidence that only Ripple has been 100% transparent. You can't name anybody else in crypto, including all the Bitcoiners. Till you know who Satoshi is, you don't have full transparency because Satoshi can be a terrorist. I can't say that here. I'll say it in a few minutes in the member group at daixrp.com. Well, let's just go off into the member group and we'll just talk about that. I believe that there are two core evils that are coming for this world right now, and they're summarized in the two videos I'm going to show in the member group right now, and it's all having to do with this too. I believe that crypto is one battle in this whole battle of good versus evil that's going on right now. I believe crypto is probably the biggest battle. That's the reason you've seen them go at Ripple the way they have. So I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that today in the private member group at daixrp.com, we're going to be talking about good versus evil and what the overall war is, in my opinion. So here we go.